Good evening, guys. I think so. I'm live right now. If I'm live and you can hear my voice clearly and you could see my screen clearly, then just type in all clear in the comment box or the chat section. If there is any issue with my voice or anything, any issue with my screen, then also you can tell me. Okay. So, good evening, all. Welcome back to the third day of this boot camp. Okay. So in yesterday's class, we were done with the card for the movie, and today we need to complete the CSS part. So what we are going to cover today is kind of a long CSS, okay? Because we are writing plain CSS for this project. So it is going to be a long CSS, okay? I am trying to uh, add more content as much as possible in this limited time, okay? Because if I extend the timing, then also there is issue. But uh, I will try completing this whole of the landing page will be done today. Okay, we have a very small JS because we are not doing the backend, so JS is not much in this case. And the CSS is the greatest part. Okay, the largest part that we have right now is CSS. So we have to complete that CSS today as well as the JS part today, so that from tomorrow we can start one more page because we cannot leave this project with just one page of landing. Okay, so we need to do one more page for us. So in that case we will be covering whole of the series today, whatever time it takes. It might take around 1 5 or else 110, okay, 1 hour 10 minutes, not greater than that. Okay, so let's begin the session. And once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the third day of session. And so let's directly get into the code. Okay. Yeah. Good evening, Ria. Good evening, Smruti. Good evening, Deeprem. Hi, everyone. And now let's directly get into the coding part. And same thing, do not ask me any unnecessary doubts like for attendance and other purposes. When time comes, I will share the attendance link with you. Right now, the code sandbox link is already pinned on the top. If you want the code, you can go over there. You will find each and every code. And about the last day's challenge that you got, so today, after the end of the class, in the same code sandbox, I will be adding the footer code. Okay, so footer code for HTML, footer for CSS2. Okay, both of these sections will be added for you. So you can refer that part, and that will be totally responsiveness. Okay, that will have responsive design. So do not worry about that too. I will share the code in the same code sandbox today after the lecture. Okay, so I have made the footer sections a great size, Sandeep. If you have completed the footer section, then it is great, and I will add the code for your reference to today. Okay. Yes, if you write the same thing once, then also I can see. Okay, no need to write it again and again. Yeah, so I was done with the movie card. Okay, I designed the card in terms of HTML only. Okay, it was the CSS was not done. So today we will be completing the CSS part, and then we have around 15-20 lines of JS. Why this much less lines of JS? Because actually we are not working in backend. Okay, so we are writing JS for some of the CSS properties or some of the button properties, but that is not a great thing. Okay, that is not a very big thing to complete. So if in a given case we were covering the backend too, in that case we would be writing authentication code, we would be writing data fetching code, and we would be writing data sending code in the JS part. But right now it's just a front end part, so JS will be very less. We'll complete JS also today. Do not worry about that. One thing more, guys. Today the most of the lecture will be in CSS. Okay, so I want you to keep calm. So just follow me through. I will be going, might be in a case I might go somewhat fast, not that fast. You will understand everything. Okay. So if you get any doubt, genuine doubt, then just add it to the chat. Even if it is not genuine, you can add it. But if I will respond to it accordingly. Okay. So let's begin this part. Okay. Movie section. So first thing that I defined in my movie section was I only made one card, and I will be designing that one card. And after that one card is totally designed, I will just copy paste it up. Okay. So yeah, so let's begin. So first section that we have is container. So I will start with the container. Okay, dot container. So I will define my some of the properties, that is maximum width. Okay. So maximum width in this case, I want it to be 100% for my container. Okay. And then same thing again will repeat, that is of padding. So 0, 4%. So see guys, this is one new thing. I am adding percentage wise of padding. So 4%, what does 4% means? So total width, 4% of the total width is what I am trying to add as a padding in this case. Okay. Yeah, Akshat, good evening, and let's move forward. Okay. Yeah, so in the outer section, then we have sections. Okay. So what is section? So if I show you on the output, yeah. So we have one section on only on Netflix. We have another section of top searches. We have another section of teen TV shows. Like we have three sections right now on our site. Okay. So for each sections, we need to add some CSS for it. So section style. So now we will add the so content. So what was the full name for the class that we had was content section. Okay. So we'll select our content section, and in this we'll be adding our style. Uh, so can you increase the quality of the stream? The quality of the stream is already at 1080p. Okay. I don't think so. It's at 720p. It's already at 1080p. I think so. You can check with yours. Are you getting the option to increase to 1080p? Okay, let me complete the code at till that point. Okay, so we were doing the content section. So content section would be margin bottom. Okay, so first thing that I would like to add is margin bottom, and in that we will be writing 50 pixel of margin bottom. No, there is no 1080p. Okay, let me check. Is it a problem from my side? Okay, I have set it to 1080p. I think so there would be some issue with internet or something because I have already set it to 1080. So this is 720p. Okay, the thing is I cannot reset it. It's already at 1080p. I can see it up, but even if I want to reset it up, now I have to go out of the stream and then do it again. So that would be quite difficult. Okay. Guys, this would be issue of internet, I think so, because there is too much rain going on right now at my location. Okay, great thunderstorm and rain, so that there might be some internet issue. Okay, so yeah, so content section, we added the styling. So let me compare the styling, CONT and section. Fine. Okay. Yeah. So one thing more that I wanted to add was in yesterday's class we added a title for the card. Now I will be removing this title for the card. Why? Because whenever I was hovering on the screen, there was one title at the bottom and there was one title at the top. So I do not want that, so for that particular reason, the car title will be removed. Why? Because we are having concurrently two same titles getting shown on the screen. So that is what I do not want it up. Okay. Can you share on community? The code is already shared on the chat itself. You can see it pinned on the top. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the content section is done. Now we have section title. Okay. So we will be styling the section title now. And in section title, what all things we have? First is our font size. So font size and then font weight. Now, in this case, again, we are making it as REM, not pixel, but actually REM. Okay. So then font weight. Font weight will be the thickness of your text that you are writing up. So you can see upon the screen, this is the text that I'm styling right now. So the font size comes to 1.8 REM and the font weight comes to 700 for the font weight. Okay. The code is the older one. The code sandbox link will be same for all days because I'm writing code in same sandbox. Okay. So once I complete this code, once today's code is done, then only you will get the today's code. Okay. It's not a live thing. I keep on coding and you will see the change live. Okay. Just wait for some moment. Okay. And then we have margin bottom. Okay, so we'll be adding a margin bottom of around 20 pixel in this case. So behind or else bottom of this text, I will have a 20 pixel of margin bottom. So now you can see we have a margin bottom of 20 pixel in this case. Okay. And right now color is already white, but I do not want to take any risk. I will set it to white. If in a given case your browser sets my default color as gray, in that case, I do not want any trouble. Okay. And the next thing is letter spacing, and for this I will add a zero point 0.5 pixels. So the space between each letters, I want it to be zero point 0.5 pixels. That is what will be my section title styling. Okay. So that means REM. REM is used for giving font sizes. Okay, so in font sizes we have many options. We have pixels, we have VH, okay, we have REM, and three, four options we have. So REM is one of the case that you can use in styling up. Okay, then next is my content row. And what is content row? Let me show you the content row first of all. So this is my content row. So what is content row? In output screen, if you see, this whole particular row is what I'm calling it as content row. Okay. So now I will be styling my content row one by one, and the style. Yeah. So the class that I have written is content row itself. Okay. So content row. See guys, you think if you're thinking that I have memorized all the classes and I am writing it spontaneously, no, I have my HTML code open at the side of me. Okay, I am looking at the HTML code and I am seeing the class that I have defined. Okay, I do not remember these all classes. Neither you have to. Okay, I have my HTML code open on another device on the side for me so that I can see what all classes I have defined in previous class. Okay, so it is not a thing to remember. How to give a side effect after Stranger Thing? Adding more content in same block. 1 minute. How to 1 minute. How to give side by side effect after Stranger Thing? What is side by side effect that you are trying to ask here? Just come more descriptive. What effect do you want to add? Yeah. So in the content row, first thing is I want my display to be flexed. Why display to be flexed? Because my cards are arranged side by side. Okay, that is why I want my display to be flexed. That is first styling. And then my gap is close to 5 pixel. If it does not looks good, I will change it up. So 5 pixel would be somewhat less. So we'll make it a 15 pixel of gap. Okay. And then we know that we will be having many cards in single flex. So it might overflow. In that case, what we will do is overflow will set as auto. So when we set our overflow as auto, we will get a scroller. Okay. So in a given case, if you do not set our overflow access auto, in that case, you will have an overflow on your website, but you will not be getting any scroll bar or else scroller for your website. So better maintain the your overflow as auto so that you do not get this option. Okay, fine. Can you please move your window? I will write the code on the top. Okay. The problem is I do not have that option to move my window on the top. Okay. Yeah. So now your content row is done. Now what is the next thing that we would need is we would be having some WebKits. So what is WebKit? WebKit will be defined for scroll bar. Okay, so we need to add a scroll bar in this case. Yeah, so the content row is already selected. So the for content row we are going to define WebKit. And what WebKit are we going to define? A WebKit for scroll bar. Okay, so let me find the WebKit for a scroll bar. What will be the name? Scroll bar. Yeah. So I got WebKit for scroll bar, but I have two, three options, but I will be selecting the first one. Okay, WebKit for scroll bar and will style it up. So what style? Only height will be given in this case. I want my WebKit scroll bar to have a height of 8 pixels. Guys, for this output, you need to wait some time. Okay. Once we add more cards, in that case, you will be seeing it up. Okay. Then same thing again. Now, so the content row will be selected again, and along with the content row, we will be having one more thing that is WebKit. Now, in this case, we have something else. So we added a scroll bar, normal scroll bar. Now in scroll bar, sorry for this, and it will be yeah. So scroll bar, we have two, three more options. So one is track, one is thumb. So we have to add that too. And for that track, we do not want a kind of any colored scroll bar. So for that, I will be adding my background as transparent. Okay. So what will this transparent do? Whatever color would be we be having in that scroll bar, we will set it to uh, transparent. So what happens when we set our overflow to hidden? So when you set our overflow to hidden, the content that is getting overflowed, you would not be able to see it. Okay. So if suppose you have 10 cards in single flex. So if your screen can have just six cards to be shown, then the remaining four cards that will be outside, they would not be visible to you. Okay. That they will become hidden for you. So that in that case, we do not put our overflow as hidden. Okay. So that is why we are putting our overflow as auto in our case. Okay. So what is the problem? Color is twice in content row. Color is twice in content row. Where? In the content row, we just have not added color right now. Okay. Yeah. So same way, we'll add one more thing. So for the same content row, and it will be for the scroll bar itself, and it will be WebKit scroll bar and thumb. And for this also, we are going to add two things. One is background. Okay. So one will be background, that will be hash 333. Sorry for this, 333. So triple three. So it will be close to my black color, and we'll add a border radius for this. Okay, I want it to have a curve radius, so that is why I'm adding it as 5 pixel of border radius. Okay, sir, like content automatically changes like 3 seconds, Stranger Thing, than any other series for some time. So how to add another like that in same block? So you would be talking about the hero section part. Okay, so you can have automatic scroller or else a scroll bar in this case. Okay, so in that you would need JavaScript to be used. So what we do, we add three different slides. Okay, suppose you want to scroll between three different slides, so you add three different slides and you set an interval. Okay. So for certain period of interval, your first slide will be shown. Then after that certain period of interval, the JavaScript will change to the second slide. Okay. Then after again certain period of interval, it will change to the third slide that you want to show up on the screen. Okay. Okay, so now the WebKit scroller is done. Now another thing will be what is we will add a hover like. Okay, now we can move to the content card. So we 1 minute content. Yeah, so we'll be moving to the content card part. Now, so let me show you where content card is actually defined. So the starting of the card. Okay, so the starting div is where my content card is defined over here. Okay, so in the content card. Okay, content. Sorry for this content card. Yeah, so the content card, we will be having many things. Like first thing that we are going to have is position. Okay, so we will have a position of relative in this case. First thing that is, and then we have minimum width. So we'll set a minimum width in this case of 250 pixels, and after minimum width, we'll set a height. Okay, so height we are keeping at 140 pixels. Now, why are we keeping a minimum width and a height? Now, in terms of responsiveness, is if we talk about responsiveness, the height might decrease or increase. Sorry, not height, but actually width might increase or decrease. But we do not want the height to change in any form. Okay, that is why we are defining minimum height, sorry, minimum width and height. Okay, that is what we are doing in this case. And then again, we'll have a border radius. Okay, we will have a border radius in this case, and what will be the border radius that we would like is 8 pixel. If it does not looks good, we'll change it to 10 pixel of border radius. Okay, how we know the value of background as like 333 or hash any other value? So you go to color picker, you select whatever color you need, and from there you need to understand what is the hex code that you would need. Okay, so you do not need to remember this up, okay? The thing is you do not need to remember this part up for you. Then yeah, so the border radius is done for you. Okay, so the border radius is done for you. 1 minute. Okay, so the border radius is done for you. Then next thing that we would need is can we hover, sir? You want to add a hover effect, right? So if you want to add a hover effect, you can add up whatever hover effect you need to add. Okay. Yeah. So border radius is set to be 8 pixel, and then in this case now, in this case, I am adding my overflow as hidden. If my card overflows, in this case I want my overflow to be hidden. Okay, but in previous case I added my overflow as auto. Okay, so understand the difference between these two, auto and hidden. Okay, why am I using these two differently? Okay, yeah, so now we have my overflow as hidden and the cursor is kept as pointer. Okay, that is what I am keeping it as, cursor as pointer. And yeah, keep patience. I will show you if I do not use a relative, then what will happen. Just give me some time and let me complete the code. Okay, once I will remove the relative, once I'm done with the section, then I will remove my position as relative and then we'll show if there is any change. Do you actually need to do it or not? Okay, yeah. So now we have my transition as all is. Okay, and we'll define my flex shrink. So what should be flex shrink to be? 0. Yeah, and also we would need a box shadow for this case. So box shadow 4 pixel and 15 pixel of my box shadow. I hope so you know already what box shadow is. Okay, I hope so no one comes to me asking what box shadow is, because the CSS part is the prerequisite for this bootcamp, the HTML CSS part. Okay. Yeah. So 000 and 0.3. So close to black is what I am adding it as for the box shadow. So what is box shadow? So I have my card. Okay. And in beside my card or just bottom of my card, I want to add some shadow for it. Oh, that is why I am adding a box shadow. Can you show the live preview of the clone? See the clone that I am writing right now, the code that I'm writing, the live preview is on the right side of the screen. Okay. I hope so you can see it up. So we are yet in between. So that is why the card is not complete. So just wait some movement and when it is totally done, then you will see more clear picture of it. Okay. Okay, so the content card is done. Now, after the content card, what we have the same content card, but in terms of hover. Okay, so content card, and we will be adding a hover effect in this case. Okay, so see, you will receive whatever certificate you need after the completion of this bootcamp. Okay, so the bootcamp is not yet done. So in that case, you cannot expect it to be given to you before the completion. Yeah, so I'm giving transform for a scale of 1.1 and I'm giving my Z index as 10 in this case. And the same box shadow will be repeated. So I will copy it up and I will paste it up over here. And now, so in this case, my box shadow will increase somewhat. So from 0.3, I will increase it to 0.6 for now. So the output hasn't changed much. Okay, that is the output that we can see on the screen. So let's complete all of it and then it would be much better to see. And inside my card, content card, what I have is I have one image. Okay, I have my image. So I have to style the image also. So I will be selecting my content card. Okay, so content card and then I will be selecting my IMG tag. Okay, yeah, so content card and then IMG. I've selected these two. So width, I am keeping it as 100%. 100% of what? 100% of the card. Okay. And the height is also kept as 100%. No auto, nothing at all. We are keeping it as 100%. Okay. And then we have object fit and I want it to be cover, object fit to be cover and transition. So I will add a transition. Of what transition I need to add? I need to add a transition of brightness for 0.3 seconds and with ease. Okay, so when I hover on the screen, the brightness should change up somewhat. So if you can see on the screen, now my image has covered whole of my card and it is scaling to 1.1. Okay, the transform of scale has been added, then height and everything looks great and transition has been added. Fine. Okay, so this is my content card and image has been added. Now I will be adding a hover effect to this. Okay, and I will do content card hover and img. So when I hover on my content card, what should be the changes that I get? Okay, So I will again change the brightness in this case, and I will change my brightness to 0.4 for now. Yeah, so this is done. Uh, Now next thing. Okay, so but by the way, I meant to show it on a full window. Okay, see, again, the first lecture dilemma is repeating again. So the thing is, if I show it on the next window, I have to switch between two windows again and again. Okay, so that is why I am not taking up on the next screen, because for you, if I do it on the next screen, some of you will write in chat that you are not showing the live changes. So then I will again get stuck in this possible problem. Okay. The attendance is not yet sent, so have patience. Now, next thing is I defined a Netflix batch. Okay, so I defined a batch in my index.html. So this is my Netflix batch. I need to change the styling. So VA, what is the color? TG. Okay, so this will be Netflix batch, not batch. Okay, so I will be styling this part up now. Again, my position, I will add it as relative. See, guys, the only reason to add my position as relative is I want some content to be on the top of this particular card. Okay, so that is why I am setting my position as relative. So the content that will come on the top will be set as absolute. Okay, now how does layering works? So if I talk about layering, so how does layering works in CSS? Just give me a moment. So if I have particular text to be shown on a particular window, okay. So suppose I have this particular card, okay. Now I want to show some another item on top of this card. So for that need, I have to set my card as position of relative, okay, in that particular case, and the content that you are showing on the top will be set as absolute. Okay, so this is the only reason why we are setting our position as relative and absolute. Okay, if we give the position as absolute, yeah, Prakash, if you are getting this particular curious doubt, now I want you to try this up on your own. Okay, so set the card as absolute and set the content that will come on the top of the card as relative. Then you can see what is going to happen. Okay, so the content that you are setting as relative will majorly be on the lower side, and the content that you're setting as absolute will come on the top of that relative content. That is why we are setting my card as relative, and my other overlay content will be set as absolute. Okay, so once we write the overlay card, in that case, I will mention this part again. Okay, and I want it to be my on the top of my screen and not on the top, but actually if I show the output, this is my card. I have my Netflix badge on the left top corner. Okay, so that is why I am adding this part. So can we use Flexbox? So for what need do you want to use the Flexbox? Are you talking in reference to this part where you want to add one layer above the other? In that case, I don't think so. But if you're talking about Flex, then obviously we are using the Flexbox right here. And we are talking about now background. So background we would be using E50914. Guys, I have it all noted already for me. I am not remembering this all colors. Okay. So color. So I have my color as white in this case. Okay. And I will keep my width I will keep it as 24 pixel. So I'm talking about a Netflix batch right now. Okay. Yeah, so width is kept as 24 pixel, and height not HRIHEIGHT. So height is also kept as 24 pixel. So brightness is a valid CSS filter brightness working. Did I wrote? Okay. Yeah. So in this case, filter, and I can add a brightness. Yeah. So in this case, I can add a brightness of what I wrote is 0.4. Yeah. So it should be filter brightness, not actually the brightness. Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that part. Yeah. So height will be this, and then we have my border radius. I will be adding a border radius in this case. Okay. So what will be border radius? I will add it to the 10 pixel right now. Okay. Then again, my display will be kept as flex again because I want to add my item to the center. So I will add a align item. So align item will be kept as center, and then again justify content that will also be set as center of my screen. Okay. Font weight I will set as bold, so the text that gets shown on the screen or is the Netflix patch that I want to be shown on the screen. I want it to be bold, and then comes my font size. So font size will be of 14 pixel and Z index. So we want it to be on the top, so that is why I'm adding a Z index of 2 in this case. Okay. So now, yeah, okay, so Netflix batch is added. Where is Netflix batch? This is Netflix batch. Okay, so let me complete this all, then only I hope so we can see it up on the screen. BADGE, okay, fine. So, okay, now next is now overlay part. We are going to see the overlay part. So card overlay. So the content that will be shown on the top of my card is what I am going to write now. So normally we see this content without hover. When we are hovering on the screen, we are seeing this all content over the top of my card. So I need to design that too up. Okay. Fine. Everything looks great till this point, and content is done. Content card is also done. Set index is added, font size. Okay, so let's start with this. So can we just type the name instead of the color code background color? Yeah, you can type the name, but you there might be a case when you would not get the same particular color that you are intending to get. Okay, so that is why you can just use color picker or other things for more better UI. Okay, yeah. So let me do the card overlay now, and we will be selecting card overlay in this case. Okay. Now, the card overlays position is set to be absolute. So till this point, we were sending it as relative. Now we are setting it as absolute. Okay. So then our top will be set at 0, and left is also 0. Right is also set as 0, and bottom is also set as 0. Why are we doing this point? Okay. So top, left, right, bottom, everything is set at 0. Okay. So we want our content to be distributed all over the card part. Okay. That is why we are sending it as 0. I'm not understanding what you are trying to say. Yeah, infinite, what exactly are you not understanding? You can write it in the chat. I will clear your point. Yeah, so in this case, again, I am adding a linear gradient of, in this case, now there is one new thing, 180-degree of linear gradient. So till this point, we added linear gradient from top to bottom, or else from left to right. Now in this case, we are adding it as 180-degree, and now we'll add a RGB value. So we'll have some difference in this case, okay? So what difference are we going to have in this case? I will explain you. First thing, 0%. Now, before this lecture, in last lecture, I defined RGB value, but I was having only two RGBs added. But now, over in this case, I will be adding three RGB. Okay, now what it actually means. So let me write it first, then I will explain it to you. So it will be 0, 0, 0, and 0.9 and 100%. So what does this 3 RGB? What is this background gradient? Sorry, linear gradient. Lex, whatever new name is gaming. So linear gradient is mixture of two, three colors, majorly two colors that we add in single card. So why do we add this? So in a transition from for the screen, if you want to have multiple colors, in that case we are going to use linear gradient. Okay. So why are we defining three different RGB? So in previous classes we only defined two RGBs. Now in this case, this is the starting. So this is the starting color, this is the intermediate color that we will be using, and this is the ending color that we are going to use. So it's like start, end, but in between we have a wire. Okay, so that is why we are having 3 RGB. Was there a card overlay class used? Where was it? If you want to say card overlay, okay, wait a minute. Okay, the class name is overlay bottom, so I need to change the class name. Just give me a moment. Overlay bottom is the class name actually. I wrote it as card overlay. Okay, so it will be overlay. Fine. Sir, are you also going to tell how Netflix logo can be used to redirect us to the home page? If you want to redirect your Netflix logo to the home page, just add one single thing. Just create it under a anchor tag, and you can redirect it to your index.html back again. So that is how you can do this part. Okay. So if you want to redirect it back, so this is how you will be doing it up. Okay. 1 minute. Let me see the index.html overlay bottom is added. And one thing I think so I missed it. Focus bunny question. Sir, my image size not changed. Then you have to look into the class if you have added correct class or not. Okay, I have added my overflow bottom and I missed one point yesterday. Okay, yeah. So let me cover this part now. I added my overflow bottom or else overlay bottom, but I did not added the overlay top. Okay, so I missed this point yesterday. I think so there would be some hurry in me. That is why I mess this up. And in the overlay top, in this case, we will be having our Netflix batch that will come. And this will get inside one more div whose name will be, yeah, so in this case, I can name it as card overlay. Okay, so I missed this point or else this div yesterday. So you can add it up now. So where should I close my div? So one div, two div, and fine. Okay, guys. Yeah, just add this part. I messed it up in yesterday's class. The bottom was added, but the overlay top was missed. Okay, and this will be my card overlay. Okay, so this will be my card overlay itself. Yeah, so my linear gradient is added. Okay, so I will be adding opacity in this case, and opacity of 0 will be added. No opacity. And then comes my transition. So transition will be in terms of opacity itself. Okay. Will you add carousel feature? Once I am done, you can see what all features we are adding. Okay. So you will have automatic scroll bar and the bottom for yourself. So transition will be kept as opacity, and now we'll define a flex direction and we'll keep it as a space between, not source between, but actually space between will be added in this case for the flex direction. Then comes your justify content. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Fine. So I'm making too many mistakes right now, and this should be column, not actually flex direction, cannot be space between, but actually justify will be okay. Then comes my padding. So padding I will add as 15 pixel for my overlay, and color I will be adding it as white. Okay, so this is the overlay styling right now. If you see or when I am hovering on the screen, where is the styling? Okay, I set it opacity, transition opacity. I did not completed the opacity also, so it will be 0.3 seconds and it will be ease opacity that we want in this case. Okay, so when you are hovering on the screen, what is the output that you are seeing right now is plain text. Okay, so let's complete this up totally and then we would be seeing the output. Okay, yesterday's attendance link. No, you would not be getting yesterday's attendance link. We cannot share that part. So yesterday's attendance is already closed. Even if I give it to you, you would not be able to mark your attendance. Okay, opacity. I will set my opacity as 1 now. So before hovering, my opacity is set to 0, but after hovering, my opacity is set to 1. Now you can see the output on the screen. So the Netflix badge is kind of more circular. I would add less radius in this case. So I can reduce my radius to 5 pixels. That would be much more better. Okay, now it looks fine. So card overlay is done. Card overlay hover is done. Sir, please share Monday attendance link, please. Nilambari, I cannot because attendance for those days is already closed. So there would not be any benefit even if I share it with you. Okay, that is not the thing that I control. I control teaching you. I control sharing the attendance with you, but I do not control the attendance for you. So either you mark your attendance on the same day, that would be much better thing. But after the day is done, I would not be able to share the attendance with you. Okay, because I do not have control over that part. Then our overlay top is done. Okay, so display is added as flex, justify content display between, and align item will be as flex star. Okay, see overlay bottom. Now I will be adding my overlay bottom for this. So today's attendance, like you will get the attendance. We'll take the session till 8:10 or 8:15. So have some patience, please. Same thing will repeat in this case also. Display will be added as flex, and my flex direction I want it to be column, and gap I want it to be 10 pixels. Guys, this is plain CSS, that is why I'm going somewhat fast. Okay, if you get any doubt in between, you can just please anyone tell me if I missed in class by mistake. So do I get to see? You do not need to have 100% attendance. Okay, the thing is you can learn, that is the best thing, but you need to have around 90 or whatever attendance, maximum attendance around. If you miss one class, that is manageable, but not missing two classes, that is not manageable. Okay, and submission of the project is also important for you. Do not panic, just focus on the lecture right now. You can get this all resolved later too. Okay, and yeah, so text transform. So whatever text I get, I need to convert it to uppercase. No lowercase will be added. Letter spacing of 1 pixel in this case. Okay, and then I will add a margin bottom of 10 pixel for my text. And let me show you the output that I'm getting right now. So this is the normal output that I'm getting. I have to now style this part up. Okay, yeah, so let's get into styling those part also. Now guys, you would be understanding why we do not use plain css much more primarily, because writing plain css is too long. Okay, that is why the same code, if we would be writing in react or in case of next, there's the same single page of site I would have done in 2 days, max to max 2 days would be required for me. But now we are on the third day and yet we are in middle of the css right now. Okay, so that is why most of the time we do not use plain css to write the codes, because it takes too much time to write each classes, define each classes, and then to write code for each of those defined classes separately. Okay, so overlay control. So what was the overlay control in this case? So this was the overlay control. So we defined it as flex, we added a gap, and we added a margin. Okay, yeah, so now next thing we have is control button. So we defined it as control and btn. So it was defined for each of the buttons that we have. So this is the control button that we are styling right now. So inside this control button, what do we have? We have first thing is width, that we will be keeping it as 30 pixel, 35 pixel, and height we will be keeping it as 35 pixel. Okay, and then we'll have a border radius of 2 pixel. And now another property that we are adding is solid. So the border radius that I want is has to be a solid radius, as well as the color needs to be white color. Okay, now next thing that I would need is background. Okay, so not background color but actually background, and I will give it a RGBA value of 255 and 255 and then it will be having 0.1 for the background radius. Sir, it is too fast. Okay, I will go somewhat slow, but then be ready to be in the class till 8:15 or 8:20. Okay, yeah. So it will be a backdrop filter. I want to blur my background. So in this case, I am adding a backdrop filter. Okay. Is it wanted to do that assignment part or is the footer or submit you? It is for practice. Footer was for your practice, but in end, when we are done with the bootcamp, in that case, you would be needed to submit the whole of the site. So over there, you need to submit it up. Okay. And align item will be set to center and justify content will be set to center cursor as pointer. See guys, why am I going fast in this case? This is we are doing it 10th time right now. Okay, in the same project, we have been writing it again and again. So that is why I am going somewhat fast for this case. Okay, so transition. Okay, so this is the transition for all CSS properties that we have. It should not be E0, but actually ease will work. Okay. Then after transition, we have color as white and font size as 14 pixel. So let me save it up and let me show you the output. So this is the particular output that we are seeing, and this is the button that we added. Now in this button, we need to add some images or else not image, but actually icons in this case. Okay. So let me complete that part too. And for the control button, so we would be also adding the hover effect for the control button. Okay, so background. So in this case, we will be adding a change of background. So background will be 255, not 254, 250. Sorry, 255. And in this case also it will be 255. Yeah, if we detect that you have used ChatGPT, and if it is clearly visible, if we are able to know that you are using ChatGPT, in that case, we will reject your assignment. Okay, so transform of scale. So we are scaling it up to 1.1 scale. Okay, so on hover, you can see my scale is getting increased to 1.1. So my hover is also done. Okay, do we have to create a same thing just like you did? Mostly it should be same. If you want to add any enhancement from your side, you are free to do. Okay. So any curious experimentation is always welcome from your side if it is a good experimentation. Okay. Yeah. So we need to add a background of white for this and color of black. So what is Yeah, so what is the thing that we are styling? So we had a play button, okay? So we had first thing that was play button. So we are adding the first thing for this, okay? So first styling for this, we added a background and we added a color in this case, okay? And then we will be adding a play btn, and for this we'll add a hover effect for that particular button itself, okay? So for this, we'll add a RGBA value. Anyone from Telugu state? Yeah, Rajesh, why are you searching someone from Telugu state? 255, and now green will also be 255. Yeah, fine. And then it will be 255, and then it will be 0.9. Okay, so this will be my hover effect for this particular case. And then next thing that we have is overflow info, right? So we have one more thing that is overflow info, and before that we would also need to add same styling as we did for the play button for each of the other classes. Okay, so what we can do is we can just copy this part up, okay, and we will paste and we will change the class name. So first one is check button, or else why am I doing this part? I will do one thing. I will select it up together, check button, and the next thing that I have is thumbs button and more button, thumbs button, and then we have is more BT. So I selected them all together. Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, so let's move to the next part. That is my info batch now. So info and BATCH, not batch, but actually BADG batch. Okay, let me check this class that I have defined over here, and it is fine. Info batch, not batch, but actually DGE. It will be BADGE, and it will be again BADGE. Info batch. Okay. Yeah, guys, you will get attendance. I already told you we'll take time today. Okay, the session will go till 8:15. So we'll share the attendance around at 8:10, not before that. So you can stop spamming in the chat. Okay, until or unless I am done with this CSS, I am not going to close the session. We have already taken too much time. Okay, for doing just a single page. Okay, and then we have a backdrop filter. So we'll be adding a blur in this case of 10 pixels, blur of 10 pixels, padding. So padding of how much? 3 pixels and 6 pixels will be added for now. Okay, so why are you using background property with RGB instead of background color? You can use anything that you need, Nirmala. Like I am finding RGB easier for me. So that is why I am using it with RGB value. You can even use with colors too. Okay. So 3 pixel and font size, I want it to be 10 pixel. And font weight, I will be keeping it as bold in this case. Okay. So let it get refreshed. And this is my info badge that I'm seeing. And I need to also define it as flex and other cards too. Okay. You can add anything in the project submission form and submit it. One does not watch anything from your project. If only checks from who project, it only checks who and give the certificate. Yeah, Omkar, I will particularly take care of this that everyone's project is checked so that you do not get away with using ChatGPT. Okay, if I get a chance, if I get a time, I will surely check it up for you. Okay. Uh, I added the code for info batch. Info batch was done. Overlay info is remaining. So before my info batch, I have to add it for overlay info. Where to submit project? You will get to know where to submit the project. Okay, right now there is no project that I am giving you. So you can chill and see the code right now and learn how to write this part. Okay. So gap will be added 10 pixel and align item. I want it to be as center and justify content. So justify content will also come at the center. So if in a given case I do not like my justification of the content, I will remove it up. Okay. Margin bottom of 8 pixels and flex wrap. Okay. Flex wrap will be wrap itself. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this will be my overlay info. So the output right now is like this for my overlay info also. Now I have to add some icons in this batches. Okay, so let me complete that part and let me do this up completely. Yeah, so info batch was done. Now we'll add a button icons. Now see guys, I'm not going to use five icon now. I will be use icons in the form of text now. Okay, so first thing is my text button. So I will be defining my before property. And now I will define a content. So content, whatever text you are adding in this part, that will be shown on the screen. So this will be the content that we are showing. So what exactly are we going to show on this part? So if you see the output, if I show you the output, so the content is play button. Okay. So we need to take play button in the form of text or else emoji, whatever you need to call it as. So why am I showing you this? So this is also a way to add your emojis in a given case if you're not finding any of the free emojis. Okay. Yeah. So if you see the output, you can see that my button is already added. I think so. We would not need the hover effect because it is making my look somewhat bad. So now let me check. Now it's fine for now. Okay. Yeah. So same way as I added my play button before content and I will add for others too. Okay. So I have my four buttons. One is check, one is thumbs up, and then it's more. Okay. So this is check and this will be thumbs up. 1 minute, this will be thumbs button, right? Thumbs button, and then last one will be more. So these are my four buttons, and same way I am going to add a text form of emoji in this case. So see guys, you are learning two things. One is how to add content by using CSS, and another thing is not actually using font awesome icons. So if in a given case you're not finding these free icons, then you can use this part of okay. What is before property? So before property is used to add content whenever you hover in on the screen like that only, okay? Yeah, so this is my content. So for each of them, I have added it up. Okay, you can see it up on the screen, and I need to have a border radius. So let me see control PTN. And in the control PTN, I have defined my border radius as only 2 pixel. I will add it as 5 pixel. Okay, so 5 pixel of border radius, it would be fine now. Control video. Okay, guys, so the button is already done. Okay, border radius 30 pixel. No, why you need to add a border radius of 30 pixel? Do not need to add a border radius of 30 pixel. That will not look much good. Okay, so this is what I am getting on my hover. Okay, there might be case you can enhance it more. Okay, so we can enhance it more, but we will not get into that part. Yeah, guys. So now what we can do is we have one more thing to complete. That is content card and before. So before hover, how should my content card look like? Content and before any hover. In this case, I want it to have a zero content and my position, I want to keep it as absolute, not obsolete, but actually absolute for this case. Okay. Same thing I'm repeating again on the top also I defined the same thing but I'm defining it as again so top left as 0 and bottom as again for 0 and right again as 0. Okay. Yeah guys, you can stop your self introduction in the chat. Okay. Now we will again add a background gradient, so we would copy this background gradient but this is somewhat different background gradient right now, so we'll not copy it up. Now the background gradient will move from top to bottom and we'll keep it as transparent. Okay, parent in first case along with 0% opacity and then again transparent and then again with 50% of opacity. Yes, if you're not understanding what background gradient or else linear gradient is, I would need you to go back to the CSS lecture and you need to visit that again and understand what actually is linear gradient. Okay. Yeah, wait for some minute. You will get the attendance link. Z index, I am keeping it as 1 for now. Okay. Let it get update. And this is the output that you are seeing. Okay. There might be case I would enhance this output more for you before sharing the code with you. Okay. Right now, this looks somewhat like that. and we would enhance this up more. Okay, before enhancing, what I want to do is I want to maintain my responsiveness also. Okay, responsive. So I will write the responsiveness code too. It is just 8 o'clock. Just wait some moment. Okay, media. So I am maintaining my responsiveness if my maximum width is 120 pixel. Okay, in this case, this particular block of styling will be shown on the screen. Okay, if it is less or if it is more, in that case, it will not get shown on the screen. Okay, so 0.3% for the container. Okay, and then we have container card. And for this, we will have a minimum width of 220 pixels. Okay, okay, so height I am adding as 125 pixels for my small screen window. Okay, and then I have my section title for this case, and I will add a font size for this particular case, and that will be 1.6 rem. Okay, not pixel, but actually rem. It should be font size. Okay, so font size of 1.6 pixel rem. Don't need to know about codes. AI is there for your coding. Just get it with or know how to use AI as your assistant for your project. Okay, guys, without learning basic, if you're getting into coding directly with AI, so that is the end of your career. That is what I will say to you. So you should know what actually your AI is writing for you. Okay, if you do not understand the code, that's where you are done. That is the bitter truth. If you want to take it in, you can, but it's upon you. Okay. If you do not know the code, what it's actually going to do, so AI will give you anything and you will accept anything from that side. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, container TAINER. So now if my screen size is less than 760, in that case, I am adding this whole styling. Okay. So prompt engineering good. Prompt engineering is good, but see, whatever content you are copying it up, you should know what that content actually means. Okay. Yeah. So minimum width of around 180 pixel will be added in this case. Okay. Minimum width of 180 pixel, and one thing more is height. Okay. 100 pixels. So now the responsiveness is almost done. What I will do is I will add the code for more cards. So only one card code was added. Let me add more of these. Overflow, constant, and 1 minute section, and then div. So we'll need to div two. So section and div. Okay. So these are the multiple cards that we have added. So we designed one particular card and we added consequently same cards for each of it. Okay. So this is how we will be working in this case. And now we also need to repeat the section itself altogether. So we'll repeat the section also for our case. Where did the section actually start? And this was the section where it actually started. So let me copy this whole section and we'll add 2, 3 sections in this case. Control C, and yeah. So we have added 2, 3 sections for this. Okay. About UX designing in Figma. Yeah, you have the scope, but the thing is, the design is getting somewhat more easier to do. Okay. Obviously, the creativity is the part that you can outsmart the AI with. Okay. Yeah. So I have added 4, 5 sections. Now, based upon your interest, whatever movies, whatever images, whatever sections you need to add, you can add it up in this part. Okay. Now your two things are done. Your homepage is almost done along with the footer that you will add. I will also add the footer. Okay. And one more thing is done. That is CSS is also done for this case. Okay. Yeah. So now what we will do is we'll add our JS also. Okay. Just give me a moment and we'll start the JS part. And along with that, give me a moment and I will share the attendance form too with you. Where is the attendance form? Okay, so I think so this is day 3. Okay, so day 3 attendance form and wait. Let me pin that up on the screen. Okay, attendance form is pinned. You can mark your attendance and meanwhile we will also start our script part. Okay. Fine, guys. If you have any doubts in this parts or CSS and other parts, you can ask me. And before, I have already added the code sandbox link before, and in the same code sandbox, I will be adding all other codes of footer and responsive code for footer too. You can add and see that over there. Now let me add my JS part. Okay. So now in this case, I am going to add first event listener for what I will be adding an event listener for one particular case for scroll. Okay. And the class that I will be I will just write it in a moment. And I hope so you understand the syntax of event listener and other cases. Okay. So I am adding a small functionality to my nav bar. Okay. What is that functionality? I will tell you in a moment. Before, let me select that particular nav bar. Okay. Yeah, so document.query selector will be used, and I am selecting a particular class by using my JavaScript. Okay. Yeah, Renuka, the session is not yet done. Just wait for some more moments and then you can leave. Yeah. So I have selected my navbar. Now I am adding two different properties. So in terms of my window size, if my window dot scroll not size but actually scroll. Okay, so if my window dot scroll y is greater than 100, okay, if I scroll down, if I am scrolling down in terms of my nav bar, in that case my nav bar dot class list dot add, and in this case I will add a list of scroll. So what is scroll? So in style.css, never. Okay, so what will be the scrolled? Scrolled will be a list of all CSS. So different CSS that I will be adding whenever I scroll my Y window or else whenever I scroll my nav bar. Or if that is not the particular case, in that case, what I will do is navbar dot class list dot remove. So if that is not the case, if my uh, nav bar is not scrolled, in that case, I will remove that particular class of styling. Okay. So scroll spelling in event listener. Yeah, scroll spelling in event listener. Thanks for telling me. Yeah, so this is the first property that we are adding. So navbar CSS property on scroll. Okay. So this function will get triggered whenever we scroll the navbar. As I already told you, we are not writing any backend code. So this is a simple thing, sample JS code that I am showing it up on you for you. And we would need one more thing. So we will be designing a profile section. Okay, profile section redirecting. So we have our profile icon on the top. Okay, if we see it up on the screen, we have our profile icon on the top. So when we click on this profile icon, I want my page to get changed to one other page of profile section. So we have to add a redirect in this case. So again, we'll create a const forward profile profile icon, and I will select that profile icon. Okay. So document dot query selector. Okay. So document dot query selector, and in this case, I'm going to select my profile icon class. So where is my profile icon class? Let me show you on the screen. This was navbar, right? And this was my profile icon class. So I will be selecting this class and I will be adding a redirect option for this case. So this will be profile and icon. Okay, so I have selected my profile icon class. Now I will be adding the redirect case in this. So profile icon dot add event listener. When will this event listener get triggered? Whenever I click on the screen. In that case, my event listener will get triggered. So when my event listener get triggered, what should happen? It should lead me to a new window. Okay, so window dot location dot href. So what it will do? So it will lead me to new href. So what will be the name of new href? So I haven't named it right now. I haven't added that file. So right now I will add it just as profile.html for now. And when we will be done with this tomorrow, and in that case, we'll replace the original name over here. So what will happen whenever we will click on that profile icon? In that case, it will take us or lead us to another page for us. Okay. Attendance link is already pasted on the top. You can mark your attendance over there. And then one more thing, the movie card that we designed. So we'll add a hover effect by using JavaScript in this case. Okay. So const movie card, we will be selecting that up. So document dot query selector. Okay, query selector. And in this case, why are we using all, not just query selector? Because we have multiple movie cards. So that is why we are using all in this case. Okay, we are selecting multiple classes in this case. Okay, so multiple div with the same class name. So the class name is movie card. So we have selected the movie card and now we will be defining for each. So for each, what is for each? For each is a loop in our JavaScript. Okay. So we will be looping through for each of the classes. So each of the movie card that exists, we will be looping through it and we'll add some style to it. Okay. So card dot style dot transform. So we need to transform it up. And what transformation are we going to apply? That is scale. So scale it to 1.05. Okay, so I want to scale it up to 1.05 and I will be adding it in double inverted comma. Okay, so whenever I have my movie card, whenever I hover on that movie card, in that case, I need to scale it up. Okay, yeah, so one thing that we are still remaining is we need to add it inside a event listener. Okay, so we'll make an event listener and this event listener will get triggered on what case? It will get triggered on mouse enter. Okay, yeah, so this event listener will get triggered on mouse enter and let me complete this function up totally and we'll add this card.style.transform inside this event listener. Okay. Yeah, so this is the CSS styling that we are adding now. Same way for mouse enter, we added one styling. For mouse leaving also, we will need to add some styling. Okay, so mouse leave, we will add one styling in this case also. And we will set my scale back to 1 whenever my mouse gets out of the box. Okay. So we already added this property by using CSS. I showed you how we can add this property also by using JavaScript in this case. So again, this is the only JavaScript right now that we have because we do not have any data fetching. We do not have other parts right now. So that is why this is the only JavaScript that we have in the home section. So next section that we have is I think so it's profile section that we'll be doing tomorrow. And that section will most probably not have any JS because that is also only UI part for our case. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys. Fine. So this will be the all about the today's session and content card sir, and movie card. 1 minute. What are you saying? So content card, not movie card. Let me check. Okay, yeah. So it will be content card, not movie card. Okay, not get selected. I can write it as content card. Okay, so I will directly change it up as content card and rest all places I can move it, use it, movie card itself. Okay. Why query selector not get element by ID or get element by class? We are going to add a event listener. We are going to perform some queries in this case. Okay. So that is why we added a query selector. And now in this case also, I am going to select multiple div. Okay. Multiple div having same class name. So for that case also, you would need a query selector. The get element by ID would not function well in this case. Okay. We will do something interesting tomorrow, like scheming. The only interesting thing that we can do is HTML, CSS also tomorrow. Okay. So if you are not finding interest in the code, then it will be quite difficult to bring your interest right now in this case. Okay. Okay, guys. Is there any doubts from your side? Did you link JavaScript, sir? The JavaScript was already linked, and JavaScript is nothing worth to link. I will tell you because this is just a pure CSS. Okay, I did not link the JavaScript, right? Okay. So what I will do is I will link my JS to, yeah, so the JavaScript should be linked at the bottom. Yes, the bottom. Okay, just on the bottom, just define a script tag. Okay, and inside this script tag, you will be the code sandbox was already pinned for you from the starting of the lecture. Please, you can refer from there. And I will be updating some of the codes because I have to add the footer code and other codes too for your reference. So I will add those up for you too. Okay. Yeah. So now it is added. And so this is the kind of full preview that you are asking right now. Okay. And this is at the center. Now, one thing all else, if you want, you can have this text to the right side of the screen also. Okay, you can add some padding and you can have it at the right side of the screen. So it's based upon your choice. If you need, you can move it up. Okay, most probably I will also move it up to the right side also. I will see if it does not looks that good, then I will move it up. Okay, share your code. Satija, I already shared the code sandbox link with you on starting itself. I hope so you can use that up. Okay. I repeated the whole section. Okay. So this whole movie row was repeated. Okay. From starting till ending, I repeated the whole movie row to create multiple sections in this case. The it is latest code, I think so. I wrote the code and you will get it updated in some time, I think so. Okay. If you want, I can add it again. You can look it up. Okay. Okay, guys, with this, I will end this session. We have already gone till 8:19 and will not extend it up much. Attendance form is already added on the top. Okay, you can refresh the code sandbox and you will see the new code. And just do not refer that code right now. Just wait for me to update the footer and other parts. Then you can refer that code. So the hero section image is hiding behind the top of the navigation bar. In that case, add a margin top to the hero section, and then that would be fine. Okay. So right now I can see some of the heads getting cut. In that case, I will add some of the margin top. Then that would look much more better from right now. Okay, guys, with this, we'll end the session now. Again, we'll meet tomorrow. Then we'll need to complete this one page that we have remaining. So, yeah, you can also add height as a TBH. See, it is totally upon your experimentation. You can look into what all things we can do for this. Okay, we are not doing the project right away. What do you mean by this? Yeah, guys, I know I went somewhat fast today. Might be a case tomorrow also we would go somewhat fast. So just cope up with this. We'll complete our last page that we have remaining tomorrow, and then we will end this bootcamp. I would say that we got somewhat less time to complete this because writing separate HTML code, CSS code is a quite hard thing to do. Okay, a long code. Okay, if I see I have written around in case of HTML only, even though if we copied, then also we wrote around 300, 400 lines of code. Okay, 500, 600 for the HTML, and same for the CSS. We wrote around, yeah, so we wrote around 367 lines of code. So this requires too much patience and timing. So because of less timing, I was going fast. No problem. We'll complete this up tomorrow. Okay. So please do explain about the project. What do we have to? Yeah, we will explain you about that tomorrow. Do not worry about that. Okay. There's no assignment today. Whatever assignment was there, that was yesterday. There's no assignment today. Okay, guys. We'll end this class or this session now. We'll meet you tomorrow at the same timing. And bye bye. Good night. Have a nice night ahead. Thank you.